Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel. All of my plants. I'm all of my plants as usual. Today I'm going to do a kind of show and tell, like a Hoya collection show and tell. I'm going to start outside because it has been raining off and on. There's been a lot of wind. We're in the middle of like a nor'easter or something here. And I don't want everything to bang around out there. So I'm going to start there and then we'll come back in here and check these Hoyas out. Okay, so we are currently outside in the greenhouse, and right there, that is a Hoya carnosa. Who are you? Crimson Princess? Or tricolor? I don't know. It has peduncles all over it. That is my oldest Hoya there. It's showing its age too. It's not looking the best. It had a rough winter. But yeah, it has peduncles everywhere and it flowers pretty much all the time. Focus. But yeah, I think it's going to be a few more days, but it is going to flower again. There's some more. Let's see if I can get around here to it. Some more peduncles. I guess you can kind of see one there and then one there. But yeah, she's looking rough. I've thought about like propagating the whole thing, but I don't know, it still grows, believe it or not. It does still grow. It looks angry, it is angry. But yeah, that's my oldest Hoya. I want to say, I don't know, 5 or 6 years maybe I've had it. I keep thinking it hasn't been that long, but I guess it has. So yeah, that's that one. And while we're talking about carnosa, this is another Crimson Princess. I have 3, I think, total, and maybe some like little propagations somewhere. But yeah, it's a pretty one. I love it. It's always thirsty. This one here needs to be repotted. Like I guess you can see the leaves are soft, very, very soft. But yeah, that's her. And then this one right next to it, I think that's Hoya Chelsea. Which this one does pretty well. I've just recently trellised it, and you can see up there's some new growth, and then there's some over there. So it's doing pretty good. It was a little bitty thing. I just got it, I want to say in the fall, maybe even in the winter. But yeah. Oh, who else have we got? And then behind the Chelsea, that is Pentaphlebia. At least that's what it was sold to me as. I don't know if it has Pentaphlebia type markings. You can see the reflection of my shirt in the leaves. That's how shiny that is. I'm wearing like an orange shirt. But yeah, it's a really nice one. Just recently trellised this one. It was like 5 leaves when I got it. And I got that one this fall. So it's done good. Like these, that's one of the original leaves. But yeah. So this plant actually grows pretty fast. It's very stiff-leaved. A very stiff-leaved Hoya. But yeah, I was told Pentaphlebia, but I'm not 100% certain about that. Like these are leaves that if I try to do the taco test, I think they just crack. But yeah, it's doing good out here. It likes it. It's been a little chilly lately, but it hasn't slowed it down or stopped it. Yeah. And then another one that's hanging is the Hoya retusa there. Let me get it down so it's not so backlit. There we go. Hoya retusa. I've had this forever, and I only just recently repotted it because I felt like it just deserved some TLC. This one actually has not grown much for me. Some, but for as long as I've had it, maybe 2 years, I would have thought more. It has flowered. It's like a single flower. It doesn't really do the whole umbel thing. I don't know. I like it, but it's a weird one. It's a weird Hoya. But let's see if you can kind of see it. It's a cool guy, I guess. It's different for a Hoya. I'll put that back. Yeah, so you can see it's not like the biggest one ever, but it's doing okay. It'll focus. Yeah, spiders love it. This is a Curtisii, which I'm pretty sure does not grow. Maybe it's just, you know, waiting for its time. But it's kind of cool looking. Can we see that? It has interesting little markings on it. Like very stiff-leaved as well. I just watered all this stuff, so everything's all wet and soggy. And then this one here is Hoya, I want to say Gracilis is what it is now. It used to be Memoria, maybe. This one's nice and splashy. It's very pretty. Are they all splashy? I don't know. I've never actually seen anybody else's Hoyas in person except my own, so I don't know anybody who has any Hoyas except for my best friend. I gave her a Pivicalix. But yeah, this one here is not really done a grow yet either. It did when I first brought it home. You can see there's a spot there where it's going to eventually focus, where it's going to grow, but it hasn't really done much yet, and I just stuck it on this weird shamrock trellis. So yeah, but I like this one. I like it quite a lot. I can't wait for it to do a grow. And then this one here, it is my Hoya, oh, what are you? Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen, right? Yeah, this is the queen. So, aren't they pretty new little leaves? And then this one here, these actually look more pink to me than they're showing up on the camera, but this whole piece, I guess, is going to go pink now, but we had a little bit of green at one point. Check out that new leaf. Isn't that pretty? So yeah, this one's actually growing quite well. These pinkier pieces are newer growth. There's more back there. Yeah, so it's slightly splashy. Like here's a nice piece of splash, chunk of splash. But yeah, so I like that one a lot. This one didn't grow forever, but I finally repotted it, and now I've made it happy. And it's rewarding me with all kinds of new growth in there. So yeah, that one's doing pretty good. I like it a lot. This here is a piece, it's a plant now, but it was just a cutting from the new growth in there, from the other Hoya I just showed you, the Hoya Crimson Princess, the one that I said is looking pretty rugged. But yeah, so there's a lot of white on this. This has been slow to do anything, but it is slowly but surely doing some things. This one here is Hoya Australis Lisa. This is a, hopefully anyway, a survivor of root rot. And what I did is I didn't water it to death. In fact, I underwatered it. Oh, it's actually firm. This is the first time this plant has even felt remotely firm in ages, since I bought it, really. Oh, that one's not. But anyway, I underwatered this plant, I think because of the substrate that it was in, to the point that when I finally did really give it a good water, some of the bottom leaves started falling off, and I was like, that's not good. Pulled it out, and sure enough, the roots were just desiccated, to the point where they were so dry that it just didn't have any, they were like dry rotted, if that makes any sense. Oh, look, that's so thin. So thin. But, you know, let's give it a tug. Nope, that one's not grabbing. Maybe that one's thin for that reason. Oh, that one's in there, though. This one here. Alright. So, that one too. Just not this one yet. But, yeah, so we're trying to save it. The other half of this one is actually in the house. It was all one big pot of it. And I actually have another one that's just cuttings. So, let me put that back there. And then, see back there, I can't really reach that one, but that is just a regular Hoya Carnosa, just the green form. That's doing good. And then that there is the Carrii, which there's another video somewhere where I'm chopping that guy up to propagate. And it's just now, that new growth right there in the middle, it's just now doing that after propagating it, so yeah, it took its sweet time. And then, alright, this Hoya here on its trellis, this is It used to be Macrophylla. I think now it is, what, Latifolia? Alba marginata? Yeah. I really love this Hoya. This is definitely one of my favorites. I just recently trellised it, so you can see some of the leaves are still kind of doing wonky things. Let's see if I can get that to focus. It has like a red edge on it. Oh, that one's all green. A little splash down there. It's cool. Oh. So yeah, this piece may have reverted, but that's cool. I'm looking for new growth. I see like some places where we're trying to grow, but I don't see any actual like new leaves pushed out anywhere yet. Just some places that are trying to make a move. I think this is, oh yeah, this is a new leaf up here. So it's kind of pink as well when it comes out. So that's cool. One new leaf so far, but we'll get there. Yeah, this was on a hanging basket forever. And I was like, why won't it grow? So I repotted it, and I think it's finally growing. Cross your fingers, right? I think so. Okay, who's next? Anybody else out here? Do me my love. Then this one here is Hoya compacta, Hoya carnosa compacta, which I also propagated. These are the propagations in here with it. It was just a single rope that wasn't doing a whole lot. It has been one of my slower Hoyas. Let me set it down somewhere because I'm trying to like juggle things one-handed and I can't even get it far enough away that it's all in frame. It's not that big. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Pardon my big rusty wrench. But yeah, so like a lot of this is new growth since I propagated it. These all have new growth since I've propagated them. I'm hoping, you know, now that it's a warmer time of year, that it will grow much, much more. We're hopeful. Go ahead. So yeah, we do have some new growth in here. This is a tiny little new growth. It's doing good. I guess, I hear everybody say that they grow very slow. And that's okay. It can grow slow if it wants to. We're just hoping to speed things up a smidge. A smidge. Because it's a beautiful plant, really. Like, I really want a full basket of it. And I keep saying I should just go buy one, but also I'm not. I'm just going to keep plucking along with this one until we get there. It's really heavy right now because I just watered it. Oh. And it's raining outside. I don't know if you can kind of see through the shade cloth there. Oh, you can see it on this side. Yeah, you can hear it maybe even. But yeah, anyway. I think that this is the last of my Hoyas outside. This is a, well actually it's two that I potted together. Hoya pubicalix. One was called Silver Pink, and I can't remember what the other one was called. I think it was just called pubicalix. But I like the way these plants sun stress. Like here's some new growth. You can kind of still see the color, but that one there, that's nice. But well, I'm assuming it must be the plant that's on this side. It was like I planted half on this side, half on this side. So that, believe it or not, that is two different varieties, or so I'm told. But this one here, when they come in even darker than this. Like, they come in so purple that they're black. These ones just come in a very dark red, and pretty quickly fade down. But, and then when it sun stresses, which it probably won't in here until the summer, even with the shade cloths all the way around this thing, it will still sun stress. Yeah, it'll be a riot of color on that Hoya. I really like that Hoya. This is one of my favorites, pubicalix in general, not just this particular pubicalix, but just, I don't know, something about them. I really, really think that this is a beautiful plant. Like the splashiness of the leaves and all that, it's just beautiful. which I know mine looks kind of pale. This one does anyway. I think it's the bright light. I don't know. I don't rightly know. But I think that's all of my Hoya outside. Oh no, I have one more to show you. It's a Lacunosa. Hold on, I'm gonna go get it. Okay, and this is one of my Lacunosa. This one here is quite sun-stressed. I do not think that this is the prettiest Hoya when it's sun-stressed. This particular one. If you've seen me show any Hoyas before, I have two that look very similar. This one has no real splashing. It does flower, like there's a peduncle there. It does flower pretty readily and regularly. There's another peduncle there. But I just don't think that this one is particularly lovely when sun-stressed, because it's kind of yellow and green and black and splotchy. I don't know. I think it's a lovely plant in general, but I would rather I kept it in lower light. I don't think the plant, this particular plant really cares for light as high as I've been giving it. So, I don't know. Oh, I've caused it to start leaking some sap. Center of the screen there, white. Yeah, I suppose maybe you can see it. But yeah, that's the last one I have out here, I believe, of the Hoyas. And this was Hoya Lacunosa. Like I said, I'm not sure which variety of Lacunosa, but nevertheless, it's a lovely one. Even if I'm not a fan of the sun stressing. I need to water this. Okay, I'm gonna water this and then I'm gonna go back inside. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all of the ones that I have out there. I'm pretty sure I missed two. One being a Hoya Pachycleta, and then the other being a Hoya Polyneura that I got from Botanica. And I have pieces of both of those plants in here, so we're just gonna, we'll start with those actually. This is the Hoya Polyneura. As I said, I got the original plant came from Botanica's, which, if you don't know, that's all the way across the country from me. They're on that coast, I'm on this coast, and it made it here. It looked still exactly like the picture. I actually struggled a lot with this Hoya at first. I think I was keeping it, number one, too hot, and number two, too dry. So it's one of those ones, as soon as, oh, look at the little roots, can you see them? I don't know, there might be too much glare or too blurry, but yeah, it's got roots everywhere in there. These were just some cuttings that I stuck in here because the original plant was looking pretty bad, so as soon as it had enough to cut, I cut it. I cut each, there's 3 plants in here basically, and each one started with two original leaves. But yeah, it's done great now, so I just never let it dry out, ever. And it's done great. I mean, it's growing like crazy. This has been in here, I don't know, 2 months maybe? I'm not sure. I'm gonna say about 2 months. So it's you know, averaged 6 leaves per cutting in 2 months time. So not bad. But yeah, that's that one. I love it. I want it to do well. Nice big full pot, that's my goal. You know, just cascading out of a pot. I have a ways to go. But I think it's gonna look great when I get there. And I have another piece of this somewhere as well. Here it is. This one here is going a bit slower. I had it in the cabinet, once again, too hot. Perhaps not too dry, but it was definitely, I'd say, too hot. Since I've taken it out, the newer leaves look a little bit better. But yeah, so that's Hoya Polyneura. And where's the Pachycleta? So this one I actually propagated. These are the propagations from one of my first videos that I made on YouTube, Plant Chores, and I propagated this and the Hoya Carrii. Oop, I just broke that leaf off. Whoops. I was trying to straighten it out. It wasn't going to happen, was it? But yeah, so this has new growth kind of everywhere. Lots going on. It's done great. The only thing is I have another propagation outside, which I also forgot to show you, as I mentioned. The edge of the leaves is this very sort of dark reddish purple color out there from sun stressing. It's beautiful. I love it, and I wish this one would do it. Pretty sure, like I had it in the cabinet and it wouldn't sun stress in there. The light's just not that bright, I guess. But beautiful plant. Love this plant. It does well. It rooted no problem. I just stuck all of those, the ones that I propagated directly into soil and had zero issue with any of them. So yeah, that's Hoya pachysclata or pachysclata. I don't know. I've never heard anybody say it but me. So yeah, I like that plant though. I guess since I'm already over here at the cabinet, we'll keep going with those. This is Hoya. It was sold to me as Kentiana. What's the name? Wayeti? Could be Hoya Wayeti. I don't know. I have both the green and the variegated in here, and I don't know if you can tell, but this plant is on its way out. I dry rotted this plant. I underwatered it so badly, so I've repotted it, what was left of it that was not crisping up, into a smaller pot because it has no roots. There's no usable roots on this, and this is the only piece of it that actually looks good, is this one piece here. The rest of it is like curling and drying. And then the same, actually that feels a little better today with the non-variegated piece. It doesn't look great. So I think I might lose this plant. Oops. I have the worst time for underwatering Hoyas. I think it's because so many people are like, don't water it, you'll rot the roots. I'm much more likely to dry rot the roots. And what I've learned from this is water all Hoyas much more than I think that they need to be watered. It's working for me now that I'm doing that. Some more than others, but yeah. The next one is a Hoya lacanosa. This one just happens to be flowering right now. This one kind of always flowers. Let's see if I can get it up there so you can see it. Isn't that cute? So yeah, there's, you know, peduncles and umbels and things going on everywhere on this plant. This started out as just a little piece, like literally about that big. And then as soon as it got a little bit longer, I propagated it, and I only planted 2 pieces in here. The original little stump and then the second piece that I propagated. I can smell it. It smells weird to me. I don't love the way that this one smells. I prefer, like, if I have to smell a Hoya of the ones I have that have bloomed, which I think is just this and the Carnosa, well, this and another Lacanosa, which I think I showed you from outside. Those are the only ones. This one here smells chemically to me. I don't know why. And the other one smells like kind of lemony. I don't know. It's very, very strange. But I would prefer to smell the Carnosa, if we're completely honest. But they're both beautiful. Some of those have died on that. I don't know if you can see what I'm trying to show you. But yeah, they're all over the place. It's prolific flower. It flowered, I think it might have flowered before it had roots. Yeah, really. So yeah, that's just a regular old Hoya lacanosa. I don't know any other name for it. It was just lacanosa. That's all it said. So lovely, lovely. A little smelly, but lovely. I'll show you the other lacanosas. Or yeah, I have 2 other ones in here. So here's one. This is the friend to the one that's outside. And this one here, I don't know if it'll focus or show at all. On this side maybe. Is much splashier. And it's not sun stressed in that weird way that the one outside is. But it's grabbing my hair. I really like this one. Like, look at that leaf. Can we see that leaf? It's very pretty. Very pretty. It's very silvery. Like, incredibly silvery. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe this is the same exact thing as the one that's out there, but that one doesn't have any splashing, and this one does. I have no idea, but it's very pretty. Like, check that out. I wish the light was better in here, but this is a really lovely Hoya. This one actually has not flowered. The one outside has. I don't think this one even has any peduncles that I can see. I'm looking. I'm not seeing any though. So that's interesting. Maybe I just underwater this poor guy so much, and like this silver and splashiness is just stress. Very pretty though. It gets low light because it hangs on, you might be able to see some other plants. There's like a bar that goes the full length of the room, and it hangs there next to the ceiling, so it doesn't get any top-down light or anything like that. I don't know. But yeah, love this. I got it from a Lowe's, I think. Yeah. It's a good one. And then the last Lacunosa I just hauled not too long ago was this one that says Variegated Indonesia Hoya, Hoya Lacunosa alba. It looks very similar to the little Lacunosa I had in the hanging basket, the smaller one. No peduncles on this guy. It's not that splashy. Like, nothing here makes me think variegated plant. I think I've already said that. But, I mean, it's a lovely Hoya. It's just not what I would think of as a variegated plant. It's not even super splashy. I mean, it's got some down in there. Maybe it'll focus on that. The light is really poor. I'm so sorry. It's like dark outside, dismal. I'm like in my seasonal depression pit or something here. I don't know. In May. But yeah, I like it. I'm pretty eager to see it grow a bit more. So far, this is the only piece of it that has taken off running. I mean, there's other little, 3 or 4 other little pieces sticking off, but they haven't really gotten going. So, okay, so that's all the Lacunosa for now. This was in one of my most frustrating plants videos. This is Hoya finlaysonii, and it has finally grown. These 2 leaves are new, which I really wish that color would come off as well as it looks in person. But anyway, those are 2 new leaves. This tendril here is new. There's a new leaf there, and some more coming. So I mean, it's doing a thing. Oh, this is new. So still a frustrating plant. I had repotted it and it still did nothing. What I've done is I keep it warm. I keep it as wet as I do the Polynura I was just talking about. I water it very often. I never let it dry. And finally it's growing. So I don't ever let it completely dry, ever. It's wet now, and I might even water it again tomorrow. Which you're probably thinking I'm crazy because it's a Hoya, but I really like this Hoya and I just really want it to grow. Hopefully I don't love it to death with the water. It is a lightly fuzzy Hoya. It feels like fuzzy cardboard. Mostly the bottom is where I feel the fuzz. I'm sure it won't show at all, but I'll show you the bottoms of the leaves anyway, because I'm curious sometimes and I want to see them myself in some people's videos. Top of the leaf. So, I mean, I love this plant. I really do. I just want it to grow. I don't think I want to do this one in a hanging basket, but I want it to grow so that I can get it on a trellis. Yeah. So that is finlaysonii. I don't know which particular type. I got it on Etsy. It just said finlaysonii and I was like, sold. Yet another Hoya pubicalyx, because I love them. My daughter got me this one. It's like a very splashy one. I think it was also labeled as silver pink. You see this one is a lot darker and just generally less yellow and kind of washed out looking. Because this is the only light it gets. This one probably will not go outside. Just for the sake of comparison to see how differently it grows to the ones that I have outside. So yeah, but this is a lovely one. I think my daughter got it in Pittsburgh, maybe. I'm not sure. Nope, not Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Could be wrong. Maybe she got it in Charlotte. Who knows? But it's pretty. So, yes. Okay. This is a piece of another plant. So where's its mommy? Hello, little plant, where are you? This is my life, wandering around looking for plants. That's how you know you have a lot of plants, when you just start to lose them. You have no idea where it's at. But anyway, I'll insert a picture when I find the rest of it. This is the Hoya Commingiana, which I just got, I believe, in February, maybe January, not sure. Once again, my daughter bought it for me, and this doesn't look very impressive. This is probably the slowest of the Hoyas that I got around that time. And I mean, it grew fine. It grew, you know, a long piece, and it had foliage all the way down it. It just didn't grow as fast as the other two that I got at the same time did. And you'll see those next. But yeah, I mean, it's doing pretty good. One of them looks a little bit more rugged than the other. I don't see any roots. Are they grabbing? Oh yeah, they're in there. Nope, this one is not. And that is the one that's very thin. Very thin. I don't think it's just not rooting. I'm not ready to give up on it yet though, so. But yeah, the other one has. It feels nice and firm and doesn't look wrinkly. So this is Hoya Bella. I got it at the same time I got the Commingiana. I don't know why this one is flipping over. I watered it and then I set it near a window and it just wanted to roll towards the window even more. But yeah, so that's Hoya Bella. And it's done quite well. It's grown quite a bit. I mean, I'll put in a picture of what it looked like when I bought it. It has put off peduncles, but I've ruined it every time because I underwater this plant once again. And when I pick it up to water it finally, the peduncle just lets go and it tumbles right off there. It hates underwatering apparently. But yeah, it's done good. I have no problems with this plant other than I forget to water it. It also did not seem to love the cabinet. I took it out and it just shut off, and you know, I got all this since February-ish, maybe? January at the earliest? Can't remember. But yeah, and it's got another little branch trying to grow there. I don't know if it's showing it or not. But yeah, so it's done great. I would love to actually keep a peduncle on it once, because I hear that, you know, if you can maintain the peduncle, that it actually flowers quite easily. So we'll see. Hoya Bella. I also want to propagate it, but it's just growing so much. I don't want to cut it while it still has immature leaves on it. Does that make sense? So this is the other one I got the same day that I got the Hoya Bella. This one is, well, it was labeled as anyway, Hoya Pusilla. I hear it also goes by Nabowinensis. But I've looked for pictures of this plant online, and it doesn't look like that to me. I don't know. I've never seen it in person. So, you know, I'm wrong all the time. Frequently. But it's a very nice plant. It is a great grower. The picture of it when I got it. Yeah, so, like, no complaints here as far as how this one grows. It outgrew the cabinet pretty quick, and I had it sitting in a dark corner of my bedroom for a while. And it didn't mind. It didn't really slow it down, but I think that may be why I've got some like tendrils now. Well, I've got one. Yeah, this is the only one. The other one has foliage on it, but this one has actually got some growing there. I don't know, probably not going to focus on it, but yeah, it's growing. There are some leaves trying to get in there, and this one here is great. It hasn't cared. This one isn't as fussy about water, to my knowledge, in my experience, as the other ones are, like the Bella or the Polynura. So yeah, I love this plant. I'm just not 100% convinced that it's Nabowinensis or Pusilla or whatever it was sold to me as. Like, I'm not saying that they intentionally mislabeled it or anything. I'm just It happens, and I'm not sure that that's what it is, but maybe. Like, the veining is very obvious on this plant. I don't know if that's coming off on camera. But maybe. I do want to propagate this as well, because once again I would like a nice full pot of it just kind of cascading around. It's pretty. It's very pretty. And the leaf size doesn't seem to have diminished much, even though it's just kind of hanging. So it's a good one. This is the propagation off of my Carrii that's outside, and it's just steady grown pretty much since it rooted. You can see that's new since I put it in there. This is new since I put it in there. There's another piece back here growing. This was just a stick. There was no growth on that except for these roots, like aerial roots that are sticking out. That's all that was on there, and it's put out a little bitty leaf that's hardened off now, but it's got another one coming. So, you know, it's doing the damn thing, and I'm impressed. Yeah, so Hoya Carrii. It's very matte looking, and it's got a very light splashing here and there, which I didn't buy it as a splash. It just has a little teeny bit here and there as like a bonus, I guess. So that's cool. But yeah, it does good. This one I do let dry quite a bit before I water it. I don't really ever let any of my Hoyas get bone dry though, just quite a bit. I don't know how to explain it. It's dry, but there's some moisture in there. And I'll show you these at the same time. I just potted these up on camera not too long ago. This is the propagation from my Crimson Queen, which I think it had the tiniest little water roots maybe. But yeah, it's doing pretty good. It has some new growth on, what is it, 3 pieces in here? On 1 piece. Actually, that was the top cut, so maybe that was already there. But it is rooted in there, and it's doing pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, so I'm hoping to see more from that in the future, because I really love that kind of glossy green with that white outline. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. And then this is the awkward looking cutting from my Hoya latifolia albo marginata, or macrophylla it was at one point. Some of the leaves are writing themselves and some of them aren't. They're just, you know, that's still upside down. It's okay. But we do have, it's trying to make a new growth there, which it doesn't want to focus on, but it's got another one right there, which it's kind of focusing on. So yeah, I'm surprised. It is, are they all rooted? They are all rooted. Even the stick that didn't have a leaf, which you can kind of see here, it's rooted, but I'm not seeing it make a move yet. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to get it growing. And then this one, I think I fought with this one on camera to get it on this trellis, which is very awkward, but it's grown off of it, and I need to like bring it back around and pin it again. But I think I'm gonna wait. There's a couple new leaves here. I'm gonna wait for those to come and finish hardening off before I flip that around and stick it to the trellis. I don't know what this is. I said that then, and I say it again now. I'm gonna guess Carnosa Stardust or Freckles. It's a very dark leaf with, and it's very splashy, like silvery splashinesses. It's lovely, very pretty. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it is. It doesn't matter to me what it is. I had considered propagating it, but I think I am going to just let it run wild on this trellis, because it's pretty. But yeah, if you know what it is, tell me, because I don't. Just pretty. But yeah. This was a propagation I made of the Hoya Australis Lisa before I realized that it was dry rotted. This one here is well rooted. I think it was 2 or 3 top cuts. Yeah, 3. And it's well rooted in there. It's doing good. This one here has given me 0 issues, and it is growing just slow. I did not realize that the Hoya australis Lisa was going to be so slow. It's very slow, for me, anyway. So yeah, there's that one, and then here is, I said the other half of the plant that had the root rot was in here. This is the other half. What's in here? 2 pieces. Are you rooted? Are you rooted? Yeah, they're both grabbing, so I guess they're both rooted pretty good. But we're not getting any growth yet, obviously. I think it's just focusing on trying to grow roots, which would be wise. Yeah, the leaves on this one are still really not great. So yeah, there's that one. And speaking of the Hoya australis, this is my regular green australis. It grows mushrooms in the pot. Just little yellow, you know, the houseplant mushrooms. It's the only one of my Hoyas that actually does that. It's got some new growth up here. I propagated it right back into the pot. And I'm surprised all these tendrils lived because they were on there when I cut it. I think that might be the only piece that has any new growth currently though. Yeah, it looks that way. Oh no, there's a bit there. It's also a piece that I propagated. Maybe you can see, I can't tell. I like this plant. Like, look at the size of that leaf. That's a big leaf. There's another one over there. I would love to get like a whole bunch of big leaves like that. Well, maybe I should dust this on this plant. But yeah, so I haven't noticed that this one is growing any faster or slower than the Lisa. I don't know. Maybe it's growing faster because this one I haven't actually rotted the roots on in any way yet. So I don't know, I think that's one thing about Hoya that I like so much is even if you make a mistake, it's still it's relatively easy to save your plant. Oh, look at that, there's some tiny little growth down there and I didn't even see it. I don't know if it's showing, but yeah. And next to the mushrooms. I've just blasted the soil with neem oil to try to kill off the mushrooms, and they're growing back already. Oh, and there's another new growth point in there. So maybe this does grow faster. I don't know. But it's also not suffered the way that Lisa has. Anyway. This is the variegated Hoya compacta, Carnosa compacta, that I just got. I think I just hauled this recently as well. It hasn't done anything. I repotted it. I don't know, I might have said, oh, I'm not going to repot that. I did. It was just drying very quickly. I think there might be some new stuff going on down in there, which you probably won't even be able to see because it's just not great lighting, and it's tiny. But as far as from this point, it doesn't look like there's much going on there. But it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a beautiful plant. I just want it to do a grow. I water it like I do my green one. If it's, you know, mostly dry, I water it. But yeah, I'm pretty eager to put this one outside with the other one because the green one does do well out there. I assume that this will be like that and it'll like the warm and the sun and all that. We'll see. But yeah, so that's that one. So I'm fine. I think I only have 2 more left. That's crazy. I didn't realize I had that many Hoya, but I think that's just about all of them. So this one is the, why do I always forget what this is called? Orbifolia? Does that sound right? But yeah, it's beautiful. It's a little splashy. It's got those big round leaves. I think it was 5 or 6 leaves when I first got it. So this has been another one that's grown like crazy, like really, really well. Really, really well. I don't know how many leaves it has, but yeah, it's doing fine. It's also dripping all over the floor right now. This is another one I keep it fairly well watered, in part because it is very top heavy. Even with this pot being quite damp right now, it's still just wants to fall over. I need to stop being such a bum and get a like ceramic planter for this, I think. It also dries out very fast. Oh look, there's another piece growing out from underneath that leaf right there. But yeah, it's grown very well. Very well. Like if I'd have known, I probably would have gotten the variegated one as well. Which I don't assume would grow this fast, but who knows. Very excited about it. This one does live in the cabinet, so it dries pretty quick and falls over. But it can only fall so far because it's already in the cabinet, and it just falls a couple inches until it's resting on the shelf. But yeah, I really like that one. Did I put in, I don't know, if I didn't put in a picture of it when I first got it, I will. Because yeah, it's grown in a very short period of time. I'm pretty sure I went and got this one in February, maybe around Valentine's Day. Maybe. Does this sound right? And then the last one, which I don't think there's really anything new with, is this DS70 by Lobata. It is a Bertonier Affinity Hoya. Get my face out of the way. It hasn't really done much. I mean, you can see, I guess maybe you can see, it does have new growth kind of everywhere, but that's pretty sudden. That's just since the temperatures have warmed up quite a bit, that it's, exploded into this new growth. No peduncles or anything. I think I am going to put this one out in the greenhouse as well, because it does seem to really appreciate the warmth. It's so fuzzy. It's very lightly fuzzy, but it's fuzzy top and bottom. So cute. It does have an interesting way of sun stressing. Let me see if I can show you. I try to remember to turn it to rotate it. Like those two smaller leaves there have like a blush to them, like a maroon. There's some that's orange. I don't know. It's just very pretty. And I think I did manage to get most of the bird poop off of it. Still has a lot of damaged leaves, like to the point where I look at them every day wondering if that's like mealybugs, but no, it's just like dings and dents and damage, and that's how it came. But plants grow. It's cool. I still love it. I still think it's beautiful. I think it's dry too. But yeah, so that's the last of my Hoyas. You have seen all of my Hoyas now. Well, almost. I think. I don't see anybody I missed. So we're going to go ahead and call that it. Thank you for watching. If you have any idea what the Hoyas are that I'm like, oh, this is a mystery Hoya, or I don't think this is what it was labeled as, please feel free to let me know if I'm right or wrong. I don't know. I don't know. And other than that, have a great day. Bye.